Caloroga Shark Media.
Hey there, I'm Johnny Mac with 5 good news stories. Remember Chicago's famous rat hole? If you don't, I'll tell you about it. Well, anyway, it turns out it wasn't a rat after all. Yeah, there was this patch of sidewalk in Chicago that appeared to bear the outline of a rat that had been crushed into wet cement decades ago, leaving behind an urban fossil. This went viral a year ago after a comedian posted it. That drew a lot of crowds. The crowds got so intense, neighbors complained, and the city workers removed the rat hole. Come on, guys, that's no fun. They did put a plaque there, but come on, what are you doing? Anyway, researchers from the University of Tennessee, New York Institute of Technology, and the University of Calgary. So this is 3 different universities get involved with the rat hole. They say the rat was never a rat at all. They compared photos and measurements of the rat hole with local animal specimens. They concluded it was probably an eastern gray squirrel. They called out the creature's long forelimbs and hind paws too big for a rat. They proposed the specimen be rechristened the Windy City Sidewalk Squirrel, which is not as much fun as rat hole. Let's keep the urban legend. Come on, scientists. And hey, city, just put it back. In New Orleans, a family was clearing weeds from their backyard. Can you guys come over if you got some free time? They made a discovery. A 1900-year-old Roman tombstone in New Orleans. What? At first glance, it looked like a marble tablet. Daniela, a Tulane University anthropologist, noted the Latin inscription, including the phrase spirits of the dead. She was like, the fact that it was in Latin gave us pause. I mean, you'd see something like that and you go, okay, this is not an ordinary thing. Her colleague, Susan, who's a classical archaeologist, confirmed, this is the long-lost grave marker of a Roman sailor named Sextus Congenius Verus, who died at 42 years old after serving 2 decades in the Imperial Navy. Don't forget, we're in New Orleans here. What happened? The tablet had gone missing from an Italian museum decades ago. It was thought lost after World War II bombing destroyed much of the museum's collection. Scientists compared the measurements. They matched perfectly and said, you can't have better DNA than that. All right, what's the mystery? Erin was watching this story on the news and said, I know that stone. Erin and her ex-husband had once used it as a garden decoration. She said, none of us knew what it was. We were watching the video, kind of in shock. Erin's grandparents had brought it from Italy, where her grandfather was stationed during World War II. Officials are trying to get this thing home. Wow. Congratulations to Natalie, who's 80 years old and from Mountain Lakes, New Jersey. She became the oldest woman ever to finish the Ironman World Championship. Now, if you're not familiar with the Ironman, you swim 2.4 miles, okay, then you hop on your bike and do 112 miles, and then you run a marathon. Coach Michelle said Natalie didn't even learn to swim until she was 60. She's truly gritty. Natalie is the definition of grit and gratitude, grateful to make it to the start line, grateful to get to do something she loves every day, and grateful to inspire so many others. 16 hours, 45 minutes, and 26 seconds. I don't know how you do it. I've done the math on how fast I run. So assuming I don't fatigue, and I've done the math on, okay, if I started this thing and I swim and then I bike and then I run my usual marathon pace, ignoring that I've already swam and biked, and assuming I don't fatigue at all, I can't do this thing before sunset. This is so impressive to me. Congratulations. Henry the polar bear had a good day. He had a meal, a 1,400-pound pumpkin. You got to do something with these pumpkins, right? Henry lives at the Cochrane polar bear habitat in Ontario. He's walking around, and he's like, hey, what's this? It was a big, giant pumpkin. At first, he was like, I'm not going to eat that. But then he was like, it does look tasty. Amy works at the habitat and said, one of my staff was driving up from down south and ended up directly behind this pumpkin as it was on the highway. She said if she didn't take it, it was going to head to the compost. So what do? You feed it to the polar bear. Of course, you don't just drive by the giant pumpkin. You grab it, and you feed it to a polar bear. The polar bear did seem to enjoy it. However, polar bears need fat, heavy meals like baby seals, and pumpkins are all fiber, no gain. Regardless, it made for fun Instagram videos. All right, John, what happened on your commute today? Well, you see, I'm there on the train, right? And then all of a sudden there was this sheep wearing a diaper. A diaper-wearing sheep aboard a high-speed train in Poland. Went viral, you think? A member of parliament posted the video. He was not amused. He said, I am currently on a train to Warsaw, and I wonder, is this still a passenger train or a cattle car? He criticized the sheep's owner for the unconventional means of transport, and as well as the train service for allowing it. However, The train company rules do allow for animals to be transported on its trains, provided, and I'm not making this up, I'm not making a joke, providing that they're properly ticketed and wearing diapers. And those are your 5 good news stories for today. Have a good one.